Right now, your business is probably worth a lot less than you think. I'm sorry, but that's the reality for most business owners when they come to value a business properly for the first time. But don't worry, having spent over 20 years buying, building, and selling businesses, making millions along the way, I know that with a few very small changes, your business could be worth a lot more. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to value a business, what drives that number, what kills the business valuations, and what you can start doing now to increase your valuation. Before we get into how to value a business, let me make something very clear. This isn't just about people who are about to sell. Knowing what your business is worth changes how you think about everything. It tells you whether you're building something genuinely valuable or whether you've just built a job for yourself. It changes the decisions you make about whether you invest your time and money now or in the future. And if you do ever want to sell, the time to start increasing your business valuation is years, certainly months, but years before you go to the market, not weeks or days. The business owners who get the best exits are the ones who plan for it early, probably even from the beginning. So even if selling is nowhere near your radar right now, pay attention, because the stuff in this will increase your business valuation. For most small and medium-sized businesses, a business valuation comes down to one thing: your profit, multiplied by a number. That number is called a multiple. So if your business makes 100,000 a year in profit and your multiple is 3, your business valuation is 300,000. If your multiple is 5, it's 500,000. The profit bit is usually calculated as your earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, etc. You'll hear people call it EBITDA, EBITDA. Now, for smaller owner-run businesses, it's often calculated slightly differently to factor in the owner's salary and personal expenses that they run through the business, because obviously if you bought the business, then you'd be able to add them back in because they're not really business costs particularly. So you basically add that back into the profit to get a slightly elevated profit figure. Now, either way, it's basically what the business actually earns once you strip everything else out. The multiple that you get depends on your industry, the size of your business, how risky it looks to a buyer, and a few other things. Now, for most small businesses, the multiple sort of sits somewhere between 2 and 5 times earnings, but it can vary drastically. Some industries are higher, some are lower. So if you want to know how much your business is worth, start there. Work out your real profit and then multiply it by your multiple. Now, AI will help you with a rough multiple for your industry, but if you'd like a more sort of nuanced discussion about it, I offer a rapid advice service. Very cost effective. We chat for an hour or so. You tell me what your business is all about. I give you a rough idea as to what the multiple might be and what your business might be worth. We talk about how to maximize the valuation. So if you want to get more sort of in the gritty detail of it, then you can find the link in the description. But here's where things get interesting, because the multiple is the bit that you can actually influence. And this is what most owners get wrong. They focus on growing revenue when maybe they should be focusing on the things that push the multiple up, that push that valuation up. So what makes a business worth more money? Well, first, recurring or repeat revenue is key. A business where customers come back every month, time and time again, whether that's subscriptions, contracts, retainers, repeat orders, it's worth significantly more than a business that starts from zero every month. A buyer looks at recurring revenue and they see predictability and lower risk. That pushes up your business valuation. If you can build any kind of recurring income model into your business, then do it, and do it quickly. Second, and this is the big one, how dependent is your business on you? If your business would fall apart the moment you step away, then that's the single biggest thing that will kill your business valuation, because no buyer wants to buy your business just for the revenue. They're buying something they need to be able to run without you. The more your business can operate without you being there physically or even remotely every day, then the more it's going to be worth. Now, systems, processes, a team that can deliver without you hovering over them, Those things are key to increasing your business valuation. Every step you take to remove yourself from the day-to-day increases what your business is going to be worth in the future. So it's worth spending time on. The next thing that's going to increase your business valuation is diversification of customer base. If one or two of your customers account for a huge chunk of your revenue, that's a huge risk in the eyes of anyone trying to value your business. If that customer leaves, the business is in serious trouble. Spread your revenue across as many customers as possible. No single customer should represent more than maybe 10 to 15% of your total income. It does obviously vary by business, but if you want a strong valuation, then spread your customers. The next thing you must do to increase the valuation of your business is to have clean financials. Now, this is going to sound a bit boring, but it kills more deals than anything else based on what I see. If your books are a mess, if your personal expenses are running through your business and there's no record of them, if the numbers don't tell a clear story, then a buyer is either going to walk away or they're going to offer you a lot less. All those things are fine when explained and made clear. It's fine to put some of the genuinely allowable personal expenses through your business, but you need to have a record of them so that the potential buyer can add them back in, because technically they're profit, aren't they? They're profit that you're taking out on your expenses. So the buyer can add them back in. But if you're not keeping a record of that, then it's going to damage your valuation and damage the amount the business buyer is going to want to pay. And don't worry if it's you. It can all be explained. It can all be fixed if you've got the records. So when somebody is building a business valuation, they need to be able to trust the numbers, and they need to be able to trust you, the seller. Clean, organized, documented accounts make your business worth more. It's as simple as that, and something you should focus on. The next thing you need to focus on to grow your business valuation, and it sounds pretty obvious, is growth. A business that's growing year on year is worth more than one that's just flat or declining. Growth tells a buyer there's more to come. It gives them confidence that the business has momentum and more potential, more money in it. If you can show a consistent upward trend in revenue and profit, that pushes your multiple up. Now, don't worry if you've had a bad year within the last 5 years or there's some obvious decline, if you can explain it. And that's again where your records come in. Obviously, for example, during COVID, a lot of businesses had 1 or 2 quite considerably down years. That's fine because it's explainable. I don't know, perhaps you made a decision to transition from one type of product to another. In the middle, you had a bad year. That's okay too. You can explain it as long as the trend is now up or flat to up. So as long as you can explain it, it's fine, but focus on growth. Now, let me tell you what kills a business valuation and makes your business worth less, because I see these mistakes all the time when I'm doing rapid advice sessions for people who are thinking of exiting. Owner dependence is definitely number one, and we've already covered that. But the other big ones are trying to sell when the business is already declining. The worst time to sell a business is when you're burned out and the numbers are sliding. Sure, you can sell it, but you're not going to get the best valuation. Buyers can see it and they'll usually use it against you. You want to sell when things are going well, not when you've had enough. Also, having no documentation is another problem. No processes. If a buyer can't see how the business actually runs day to day, they'll assume the worst and they'll punish your valuation as a result. Now, finally, don't have unrealistic expectations. A lot of business owners have a number in their head. For small businesses that are, say, worth 300 grand, it's usually $1 million. The number of times I hear 1 million or 10 million or 20, it's always some random round number that means nothing. So if you've got that number in your head, have a realistic expectation. There's no harm shooting for the stars, but be realistic in your choice of number. Because often the number that's in the head has nothing to do with what the business is actually worth. They've based it on what they need for retirement or what they've heard someone else got, rather than what the actual business valuation is worth. Going to market with an unrealistic price wastes everyone's time and often means the business never sells at all, and that's the worst possible outcome for everybody. The buyer doesn't get the opportunity of growing a good business. The seller doesn't get the opportunity of generating the cash from everything they've built over the years. So here's what I tell any business owner watching this, whether you're thinking of selling next year or in 10 years. The things that increase your business valuation are the exact same things that make a business run better. Recurring revenue, not being the bottleneck, clean finances, diversified customers, consistent growth. Building for a strong valuation isn't some separate project or murky black box. It is the project. It is growing the business. So start preparing for that now, because even if you're 10 years away from selling, it will boost your growth, boost your business valuation. So if you want to know what your business is worth right now and what you could do to increase that number, that's exactly what my low-cost rapid exit advice sessions cover. 1 hour, we go through your business, your top-level numbers. I'll give you a straight answer on what you need to do to increase your valuation. If you're interested in that, if you think it's worth spending an hour with me, just an hour, very cost effective, then have a look at the link in the description. As I say, they're super affordable, and it's a great way to get some advice that adds significant value to your business and increases your business valuation. Thank you so much for watching and listening to me waffle on. Until the next time, bye for now.